Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Adorkable Rachel, and it's time for another episode of Muppet Monday! Well, this happened. I'm sure that a lot of us saw this coming, but last week it was announced that on Thursday, October 18th, Caroll Spinney, the original performer of Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch, was going to officially retire. He recorded some lines for the 50th season of Sesame Street, and that was it. He can now officially say that he's been on Sesame Street for 50 years, and I know that it's technically not been 50 years since Sesame Street started, but I still think that this counts. Congratulations, Caroll! Actually, fun fact, for quite a while now, Caroll Spinney has been the only Muppeteer that's still performing on Sesame Street that's been there since day one. And even though I'm sure we're going to see his characters for many, many, many years to come, it's still really, really hard to imagine Sesame Street without him. But to celebrate his retirement, I have come up with a quick little list to celebrate some of Caroll Spinney's best moments known to us fans. And yes, a lot of this is going to be Big Bird moments, but that's still Caroll Spinney technically because he's the one performing Big Bird, and there is still some actual exclusively Caroll Spinney moments in here. Just keep in mind, anything counts. As long as it involves Caroll Spinney, that's totally fine. So in a quick turnaround video, here are the top 5 Caroll Spinney moments.
Sunny day, sweeping up clouds away.
Number 5. The ABCDEFGH song. No, I'm not gonna say the whole thing. I'm gonna let Big Bird do it.
ABCDEFGH, it's the most remarkable word I've ever seen.
I mean, that is just too impressive. In the very first season of Sesame Street, somehow the producers got the greatest idea in the history of ever and turned the ABCs into one word. And Caroll Spinney sings it in a song that makes it seem so easy.
ABCDEFGH, I sure wish I knew exactly what I mean.
In fact, the song became so popular that it's been sung several times on the show, and it's been sung on a lot of Sesame Street albums. Of course, by the end of the song, they normally do clarify that it is in fact the alphabet and its significance. And how much do you want to bet that a lot of kids out there did in fact learn the alphabet from watching this song? 'Cause I did! Number 4. Follow That Bird. Just the whole movie. In 1985, this was the first of 2 feature films based on Sesame Street to be released. And for a movie designed for little kids, they sure did put a lot of effort into it. But of course what really makes the movie is Big Bird himself. When you really think about it, this character goes through a roller coaster of emotions in this story. He leaves home, he wants to go back home, he's kidnapped and paraded as a carnival attraction, and he also arguably sings one of the saddest songs ever in a kid's film.
I'm a bluebird that's been dreaming of a rainbow I can follow to that
Of course everything turns out okay in the end, but it's definitely not what you would expect when you think Sesame Street the movie. All thanks to Caroll Spinney though. I don't think this movie would be anywhere near as remotely good as it is without him. Number 3. Singing at Jim Henson's memorial. Believe it or not, Caroll Spinney not only sang at Jim Henson's funeral, he also did it as Big Bird, singing one of Kermit's most iconic songs, It's Not Easy Being Green.
It's not that easy being green, having to spend the day the color of the leaves.
And considering that Jim Henson passed away less than a week earlier, it's actually pretty amazing how much Caroll's able to keep it together during this song. But you can also tell that he definitely is holding back some tears. In fact, in one moment, I think he even messes up a line, but he just comes back to it so naturally.
And green can be big like a mountain, or tall as a tree, or big as a sea.
You know, it's hard to watch this clip or any other clip from Jim Henson's memorial, but this one in particular has got to be one of the most heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time.
Thank you, Kermit.
Number 2. When Caroll talks about Deborah.
And I said, oh my gosh, I'm in love. One look at her and she was the person I needed to have in my life.
Okay, gonna be honest, I I, like a lot of other fans, was not completely aware of the love story of Caroll Spinney and his wife Deborah until I saw the movie I Am Big Bird, but...
We were walking down Broadway, and it suddenly occurred to me, I said, if she's not in my life the rest of my life, I don't know what I would do. So I suddenly whirled her around. I said, you will marry me, won't you?
And I was like, yes. I was so nervous, but I said yes.
OMG, can you stop being so cute? They are just so in love and so in sync with each other that once you see them together, you will never settle for less than what they have. And Caroll just always talks about her with the greatest admiration. Why can't we all look at each other the way that Caroll looks at Debbie? I think my favorite story about them is when Caroll revealed that he actually unknowingly asked her out 3 times before she said yes.
So we were sitting there. She raised a glass and said, here's to your persistence. And I said, what do you mean?
Well, you know, remember you asked me out at when I was typing, then you asked me out at the Christmas party, and then again, of course, at the recording studio.
I said, you were all those girls? I had no idea that I was asking out the same girl.
OMG, just stop. Also, just to add on to the cutesiness, they apparently record everything that they do when they go on vacations or go do things together. I mean, that is just the cutest thing. They were the original vlogging couple. Too bad they couldn't make money doing that back in the day. You can have your Edwards and your Bellas. Caroll and Deborah will be my OTP for life.
I love you.
And before we get to the #1 spot, because there's just so many great moments of Caroll Spinney, here are a couple of honorable mentions.
Anything ragged or rotten or rusty, yes, I love trash.
Mr. Rogers, come in.
Thank you, Big Bird.
You came back.
Yes, well, I wanted us to have a visit. We didn't get to know each other before.
What's the matter?
We came all the way over here to China to find the Phoenix. I don't know what we're gonna do. Doesn't matter. You're the original. A movie star, remember? You can fly.
And the #1 Caroll Spinney moment is... just because.
Big Bird, it has to be this way because.
Yeah, you diehard fans knew this was coming. In 1982, Will Lee, the actor who played Mr. Hooper since the beginning of Sesame Street, unexpectedly passed away. Rather than ignore the character's absence or just say that he moved away, the producers decided that this would be a great opportunity to talk about death on the show. So, that's exactly what the adults do when they have to let Big Bird know that Mr. Hooper will not be coming back. There's no music, no song, it's just the adults talking to Big Bird about the harsh reality of death. And also letting him know that it's okay to grieve for the people that we care about.
Oh, I don't understand. You know, everything was just fine. Why does it have to be this way?
And of course, Caroll Spinney does a great job of performing Big Bird as you would expect a kid to react to such a thing. He's really sad, but then once he comes to terms, he becomes okay with it.
Just because?
Just because.
And it's also especially heartbreaking because Big Bird has all these caricatures that he drew of his friends that he wants to give to everybody, but he's never gonna give his to Mr. Hooper. But what's even more beautiful about this segment is that Caroll Spinney drew that drawing of Mr. Hooper himself. So you think this is just a Big Bird moment? No! Caroll Spinney plays a much bigger part than most people realize. And while I'm sure it was probably risky to address death on the show, this segment was eventually selected by the Daytime Emmys as being one of the top 10 most influential moments in daytime television. So if that's not a good excuse to put this as Caroll Spinney's best moment ever, then I don't know what is.
You know, I'm gonna miss you, Mr. Looper.
That's Hooper, Big Bird. Hooper.
So that's my list of the top 5 Caroll Spinney moments, and Caroll, thank you so much for everything that you've done for all of us, for Sesame Street, for children's entertainment, just everything you have contributed. We could not be more grateful that you've been there for us, and we thank you so much from the bottom of all of our hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really, really hope you enjoy retirement, and I really hope more than anything you are happy with all the work you have left behind. So now I want to know, guys, what's your favorite Caroll Spinney moment, and are there any other topics coming up that you want me to discuss in future Muppet Monday episodes? Well, go ahead and leave your comments below. Be sure to like and share, and if you're new and like what you saw here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to hit the little bell button down there to get notified when new stuff comes out, because I make new videos every week. Bye, Adorkable Buddies. I'll see you